Today, we are welcoming Yvette to the Shift Happens podcast, and we are kicking off this new era of bringing the visual side to the podcast. So, welcome in.
Oh man, thank you. I can't believe I'm visual worthy. I got a face for radio, girl.
I love it. I knew you were going to be one of the perfect guests to kick off this whole visual stuff. I feel like a really good place to start is if you take me and the audience back to when you used to live like those two lives that you've mentioned. What was
Wow.
survival mode like for you?
I would say it's actually 3 lives. I wore 3 different masks. I'm going into like from my teens till 30 when I got sober, I wore 3 masks. My first mask was a fitness instructor. So here I am like, "Whoa, look at me, the pillar of health." And I'm throwing up every day. I'm bulimic full force, right? Second is I'm a businesswoman and I'm like working for the Yellow Pages, probably before you know, but there was this thing called the phone book, and I used to sell advertising in there. And so I'd have my navy blue suit and my kitten heels, and I was Yvette DeCenta, the top sales rep in New Jersey, right? And then here's the fucking killer one: the stripper shoes, the stripper bag with my 9-inch heel stilettos, my whatever thong and
Yep.
bikini basically. And so I lived these 3 lives. One, fitness, but the mask was covering bulimia.
Yeah.
2 was the drinking as a sales rep, and 3 was the stripper with cocaine. So that's why my book, Booze, Blow, and Pancakes, talks about the 3 things I used to numb in the 3 masks I wore daily.
Yeah, that's like a holy shit. What was that even like for you living those three different lives?
You know what? It's like an actress. Like, I don't even know when I
Yeah.
removed those substances, I really didn't even know who I was. Like, I always, when I was young, I was like, I want to be a Vegas showgirl. I want to be an actress. Because literally in my mind, I didn't like me and I wanted to be someone else always.
Yeah. So then the other stuff just became those masks for you. And you're right. It's like acting. Like when you don't even know who you are and then you get to put that mask on, you just play the role.
You play the role. Growing up, I'm from Spain, but when I moved to this country, I was like money, power, thinness, and
Yeah.
beauty. I don't know if you'll know this actress, but my life would be complete, Kayla, if I was Heather Locklear. Like, I don't even know if you know her, but she was the bomb in the 80s, and she or Farrah Fawcett, and that if I could look like that, be like that, my life would be so fulfilled and happy. And I found out it has nothing to do with that. None of those things matter for happiness.
Right. We got to like insert a picture of the actress right here somehow.
God, absolutely, Heather Locklear, because right now she's not looking too good, girl. She's not looking too good. She went down the alcohol, drug, cocaine lane. No good.
Oh no, now we got to get her out of that lane.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you go from those three masks and then like what happened? Did you have this moment of just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
I always tell people when they come to me and they're like, I'm so stuck, I don't even know. I'm like, you do know, because we have this thing called gut whisper, and that is awareness. And my awareness came one day. I taught my fitness class in the morning. Then I would binge on pancakes, right? And throw up. Then I would put
Yeah.
Jerry Springer on. This was a big show, like back in
Yeah.
the day. I don't know if you
Yep.
remember. I
Yeah.
would do my line of cocaine, take a beer, and go in the shower. And I was going to now I was going to go work at the bar. And I came out of the shower and I looked at myself, Kayla, and I gave myself the finger like, like this. And I had blood running down my face, and I
Yeah.
could stick my 2 fingers in my nose and they would touch.
Yeah.
And I said, if you don't do something about this, you're going to die. Like,
Yeah.
I just knew. But this is the thing. Like, I might need to change something. And then this is the devil. It's not that bad.
Right.
And then you're here.
Yep.
Pull up your face. I need to change. It's not that bad. I'll start Monday. One more time. And you just never go anywhere. But I had the awareness. I knew I was going to die.
What did that look like after when you decided like, fuck this, we got to do something about it? What did life look like after that? Like, how did you start to make different decisions?
So it's funny because before we got on the podcast, you were talking about how you had this podcast, it didn't work out, and then you made a different decision, right? Like, you can change your life in an instant. Because I'm so vain, and I think pain is such a great motivator for change. If I can touch my 2 fingers, I'm going to have this Michael Jackson nose that's going to fall apart. And I never did cocaine again. That
Yeah.
one moment I decided I'm not doing cocaine. But now I'm left with food and alcohol, and those
Right.
went off to the 10th power. But I think as you start to know that you need to make a change, you start getting consequences. Now I'm a homeless stripper. It's not looking so good.
Right.
When you got
Yeah.
a crock pot in your Thunderbird, and you're like, I gotta go to work. It sucks. Now the pain is really getting great, and I need
Yep.
to change my life. So then one day I had been to like literally 12, 13 rehabs. I'd been homeless, and I was working, doing this sales job. And they said to me, if you don't get help for your alcoholism, you're fired. And at this point, Kayla, I had no more parents, no more friends, no more boyfriends, no more life jackets. This is it.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Right.
the last fucking straw. I took it and I got sober. And I had to drop the nightlife. I had to change everything that I knew had to change. Everything.
It's like a identity freaking, I don't even know what to call that. Like you just probably, like you had mentioned, not knowing who you were under those masks. Like I can't even imagine once all of that is just ripped away, you're just like, well, what do I do?
What do I do and what do I have left? Here I am,
Yeah.
30 years old, trying to get sober. Now I got into the rooms of recovery, and they said no major changes in a year. And of course, I meet some guy and I'm married in 30 days, like, because this is like, sounds like a good idea. But that man actually ended up like saving my life. He got sober too. And we were married for 20 years together. We're recently divorced, but that the people, places, and things, God puts people in your life. You don't even know why. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Have you
Yeah.
felt that moment where you're like,
Yeah.
how did this person come and just save me? Because he literally took me out of all that surroundings and gave me safety and gave me a family. Like, you cannot do it without support. So I had my like recovery family, and I had his family because my family lives in Spain. So that was the beginning of me changing my life. People, places, and things.
That is so good. I feel that way about my son when I was 17 and pregnant. I just was like on this road that was not good for me at all. And then I got pregnant with him and it was like, oh, like, okay, Kayla, like wake up, get your shit together. You cannot keep acting like the teenager that I was then. And yeah, that was him for me.
Wow. How old is your son now?
He's turning 10 next month.
Oh my, you're 27 and you have a 10-year-old? I'm
Yep.
56 and I have a 10-year-old. I love it. Like how, it's
Right.
just, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And I love what you said about the life jackets. I've never thought about shit like that. Like how many life jackets you have left. And then at the end, like if you don't have any more left, you either sink or swim, baby.
That's it. But I think that for many people, you got to get to that pain. Like, most people, when it's not that bad, they don't make a change. But when it gets bad, like, even, you know, anything, it could be in your relationship or a job. Like, I hate my job, but they pay me so much fucking money. I can't leave. I
Yes.
cannot do it. Right. So you're in
Right.
golden handcuffs, but you got to change, and you're just like, it's not that bad. So I think until it gets really bad, or they fire you, or you quit, like, you don't make the change to what could be amazing, because you're stuck.
Yeah. Right.
I hate stuck.
That's why it's the buzzword that it is these days. That's why every coach and their mother uses it and says, I'm going to help you get unstuck. This is going to make you get unstuck because everybody's fucking stuck in something.
Right. Everybody's fucking stuck and stuff. But if you don't unfuck yourself, like, the shift happens, like, you literally have to unfuck yourself, because all that shit is going to be there. You go out to work through it to get to the other side. Like you had
Yes.
said, you worked through your stuff and this is why your podcast is so important, because you highlight mental health issues. There
Yeah.
is no shame. We need to
Right.
talk about this stuff.
Yep. And everybody has a story too. I love to say that. Everybody has a story. What are you going to do about it? I also like to relate it to like, how there's the shift key on a
Yeah.
keyboard and
I'm
then there's
looking at
that.
my keyboard.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
And then there's that F letter, right? I talk
Yeah.
about the F and it's like your fight, your focus, forgiveness, whatever it might be for you, right?
Right.
But if you don't push the shift yourself and then push that F, like the shift exists, the tools exist. But if you don't push it yourself and do something about it, it doesn't change the F. It doesn't make it capital. It doesn't do shit to it on the keyboard. It doesn't matter if you push the shift alone or the F alone. You have to push it together. So you have to do the work. So I don't know.
I
That's
love
just like
that.
my random thing.
That's it. And there's so many great things that start with F: forgiveness,
Yep.
fight, focus.
Yeah. Mine was
family.
forgiveness for sure. That's what was ruining my life was forgiveness. Whoa, once you figure that shit out, once you figure out your own F, because I can't give it to you. Nobody can give it to you. You have to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
So
Man, that is so powerful, girl. I got goosebumps.
I loved your little mindset perspectives that you post on your social media of you'll be like, well, I don't want to do this, but like the results I want these, I want X, Y, or Z. So I have to keep doing whatever that is. How did you kind of get to that mindset? Was it through everything that you've been through or?
Research and development, Kayla. A lot of times,
Yep.
research and development, right? Like, how many times do I have? Because listen, I am the
Yeah.
queen of planning. Like, get me
Yeah.
highlighters, get me to Staples. I'm going to get every book, every highlighter. I'm going to start today. And then at 2 o'clock, when it says clean your closet on Monday, yeah, no, I'd rather be Cheez-Its, Netflix, not happening, right? So,
Absolutely.
the biggest thing that I learned in my life was to honor the word to yourself.
Yes.
Honoring the
Ooh.
word to myself was the game changer because I didn't honor shit. I'd be like, we'll see what's up. That was my favorite. Like, I'll see you at 8. We'll see what's up. I could never commit because based on my mood, I don't know what I'm doing from 1 hour to the next. And until I learn to, yes, you need plan. Yes, it's great to have accountability. But if you don't show up and practice that skill of showing up when you don't want to, you're going to get shit.
Right. And
It's true.
if you don't keep your word to yourself, like what are you telling other people about you? Like, you know, how they should respect you. If you don't respect yourself and your and the word to yourself, how are others supposed to respect you back?
But think about it. You're young, right? I could be your mom. And I think for a lot of women my age, they
Yeah.
will do anything for Johnny's dentist appointment and Sarah's cheerleading. They
Yep.
will honor words for other people, but they've let themselves go and they're trying to honor their word for their weight. But it's so far gone that they've done that for themselves that it is really like this is where I say accountability is key because you can't do it alone, you know? You can't do it alone. And honoring the word to myself was especially like I say, start small, because you need a lot of patience to build that skill. It's like I tell my clients, like you could do 10 bicep curls. Look at nothing's going to change today. Nothing's going to change in a month, not even in 6 months. But in 1 year of doing 10 bicep curls every day in a year, you're going to see a shift. But the thing is, most of us don't want to wait that time.
Right. Yeah, it's that time factor for sure.
Right. So, yeah.
Okay. You've been through all these different shifts. It's like for me, I'm like, which one do we go with? Which one do you think, which of those masks do you think for you was the hardest one to kind of separate yourself from?
Are you ready? Drum roll. For me was eating disorder
Mm, yeah,
because I'm a fitness pro, right?
right.
And my body is my brand. So for dancing, okay, now we usually age out, whatever. I was done with dancing, but I'm still in the fitness world. And in my world since the 80s, all fit pros, we had to be small and smaller and smaller. Everything was lose weight. So for me, like I'm telling people to not eat pancakes, yet I'm eating pancakes and throwing up. And for me, I had been doing that from 14 to 47.
Yeah,
Through my
sure.
pregnancy, I was in a rehab so I wouldn't throw up. Like I just had accepted that this is who I am. And when I die, I die. But what happened one day, you get that awareness. So my kids are at school and this is when I would have it. I did my classes in the morning and I had this free time. I'd go home and sometimes I'd throw up, sometimes I wouldn't. But it was like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I ate the pancakes, I threw up, and I was over the toilet bowl and that boxing bag in the back.
Oof.
I couldn't swallow, Kayla. I thought I'm dead. Right now, I'm dead. It's over. So I call the ambulance. They come and I'm not dead. And in the back of my mind, I had always thought if I go to this Tony Robbins event, I think it's going to change my mind. Like you have these,
Yeah,
you're like, where is this change the power within or whatever? And I'm like, you know
yeah,
what? I need to go to this date with destiny. I need to like, cause I had all the tapes and everything.
yeah.
So I went to a Tony Robbins event, right? And there's like 30,000 people and he's doing this hypnosis, Kayla. Everyone's screaming. He's like, what if you didn't change what you're doing in a year? What would your life look like? And everyone's like, whoa, like souls are
Yeah,
screaming in pain. And in 5 years, and then I like, my God, I get emotional because I
yeah.
saw my daughter looking over my grave saying, Mom, it didn't have to be this way. And
Yeah.
I came back from that, but from that one hypnosis thing, and I threw up one more time, and I never threw up. So it's 46 to I'm 56. It's 10
Yeah.
years.
Damn. Well, first of all, congratulations, because that is fucking hard. And you made that decision after countless years of being stuck there. But damn, it is those wake up calls that really get you. You're like, fuck, what am I doing?
Like blowing my nose and blowing my throat. Like, okay, you have no
Yeah.
fucking organs left, girl. Can you try? God, I don't know. God just decided to, because I just knew I was going to die with this disease. Like, I'm going to die. I'm going to get throat cancer, something. But God had a different. Like, I still can't believe today that I eat and I don't throw up. It's a
Yeah.
miracle.
It really is. What led you to writing the book and putting all of this information in the book too?
So I'm training one of my young clients like you. Like, she kind of reminds me of you, Kayla. And she's like, Yvette, your life is so fucking crazy. You need to write a book. I'm like,
Right.
you know what? You're right. And she's like, well, what would you call it? I'm like, blow and pancakes, breaking free from the shackles of addiction. I swear to God, it came to me like that. And
Yeah.
that was, and I wrote it. And I wrote that book through audio because I'm not like I have ADHD
Yeah.
to like I wrote it through my audio phone, working with like a publishing thing. And I just talked it. I talked it all out. Secrets keep you sick. That was and I just talked about all the secrets. And then the second one, yeah, and like, if you have a story like you're getting pregnant at 17 and turning it around, like that needs to get out there. That needs to be told to the world, girl.
It's funny that you say that because I wrote my book called Truth in Pieces and I went to send it. Like, my friend is a publisher. She offered to do it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I feel like it needs to be spoken. And so I released it here on the podcast in two different
Yes,
episodes
girl.
because I was like, it needs to be spoken from all the shit that I've been through. I need to finally, and we're back to that forgiveness piece. I just
Yeah.
needed to like get my shit out in the world and be heard from like my voice without it being interpreted differently. So yeah, funny that you mentioned that.
Wow. That is insane. You got to
Yeah,
send me a copy. I'm sending you a copy. And that's that. Yeah. Cause I got
hell
to
yeah.
read that.
Now
I
we
got
got
to
to
read
read it.
that. Yeah, for sure.
I love the conversational kind too. And if you spoke it, then I love those kinds of stories where it just feels like you're talking to a friend. Like you can see into their story without it being like some scripted bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Like, my fifth chapter is like, and along came a man named Dave, because it's like legit. He came
Yeah.
out of nowhere. Like, I didn't try to, like, I'm not abundant and enlightenment kind of words. I'm like real fucking talk. And people read the book and they're like, I feel like you just spoke the words. But I did write the book because I feel like, so I'm in an anonymous program, but I feel like that's so old school. And I think we need to let people know that people are dying. They don't need to be dying alone to know that maybe someone made it out and they could make it out, especially with
Yeah.
women with eating
Right.
disorders. So many women have multiple, right? Eating disorders, bulimia, and drinking and Xanax. And they just don't even think that there's possibly a way out because they're all intermeshed, but they're still picking up Johnny at soccer practice and they're still taking Sarah to, so it doesn't look that bad, but really inside they're a mess.
Right. Yep. They're working through their own masks and they're just acting out their different roles and you just never know. And I've always stood by that when I used to do like strictly motherhood content is you just never know what the mom down the road is dealing with, what that mom at the pickup is dealing with. And so I feel like that's why these conversations are so important because there's somebody out there that literally needs to hear about this.
Absolutely. My son is like, thank you, God, for keeping us sober. I'm like, okay, Steven, you're fucking dead. But he just knows, like, when we pray to eat, like, when we eat
Yeah.
or something, like, he knows,
Yep.
like, oh my God, that person's drinking alcohol, mommy, like, because he knows that that's not, and my daughter knows my life and she's 21 and it's all good because my daughter is so actually, she's taken my alcoholism journey and she's never seen me drink as saying, I don't want to go down that road because I think I might like it too much and it
Yeah.
might be a problem with my addictive behavior. I'm like,
Mm.
Mary Rose, man, you hit the
Yep.
gem that you never even try it.
Yep. Exactly that. So what do you do now? I know you've gotten into speaking, you have this book out, you still do personal training. Tell us
Yeah,
a little bit.
I'm speaking to you. That's it. No one wants to hear me, girl. Can you
Yes, let's go.
say I'm a speaker? I'm speaking, doing this, but I don't know. I just train women in my little studio. It's like a
Yeah.
private one-on-one training studio. I coach women. I do it together. but I'm not like this big, huge Brooke Castillo life coach or anything. I just want to help women in a safe space. I feel like mind and body go together. Move a muscle, change a thought. But they come in here feeling like shit, and they move a little, and they talk a little, and they walk out with a hug, and they're like, "Wow, that was transformative." And they do that twice a week. And that's my. I light up when I see something shift in them, and they're like, "I went walking on my own today, Yvette," and I'm like, "You did, Susie? What's up? That's what's up."
Exactly. Yep. I
That's it.
love it.
Yeah, and
That,
I'm also very active. So that's my life. That's very boring. And then I'm also very active in the recovery community. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I
Yep.
speak sometimes there. It's a very receptive audience. It's like, where else are you going? You're in rehab. Where are you going, degenerates? You're sitting here, got nothing else to do.
You're like, you're gonna listen today. Is great. Oh my god. I get that like vibe from you though, that you are a woman's woman. Like you just want to help people, and I love that you don't sugarcoat things. That's me. I spent a whole, oh my god, I don't even know how long sugarcoating everything and filtering myself, like
Mm.
filtering the shit out of things and being scared to cuss online and being like, "Oh my god, what will they think of me that when they know how bad my mouth is or whatever?" And I'm like, "No. Nope, this is how I talk. This is me. This is it."
But I'm sure you went through transitions through your social media time, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
So I did
Yeah.
too. Like when I first started doing my social media, I was like, let me pose the perfect picture in Photoshop.
Oh yeah.
And then when I see girls doing that, I'm like, I don't want to see this bitch.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't,
Right.
because we women, it's like, okay, gorgeous. You are a 10. You don't need to get any more likes. I could get a like over here. But honestly, I
Right.
started to see this isn't, I'm trying to attract women. I'm getting creeper guys. I'm not really,
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
really with the women huddle. And in order to be with the women huddle, it's better to just make yourself more real,
Yep. Yep.
you know? Because that's,
Absolutely.
I want to be in it with them and not be listen to me because nobody wants a lecture.
Right. But also, can we like just talk about those arms though?
Oh, girl, I got the tricep
Girl,
ball.
that's impressive. I'm impressed.
So you know what? Fitness saved my life.
Yeah.
Like when you're in some kind of addiction, even like when you were in your motherhood or like you're just like fitness, not because of the calories or like how I used to do with the fitness aerobics, but lifting weights.
Yeah.
Like it showed me everything. You know that book, Everything I Learned in Kindergarten?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I want to write a book, Everything I Learned in the Gym, because it
Boom.
showed me everything. Patience, tolerance, keep your space better than you left it, re-rack your weights, be kind to the new person. Everything
Yeah.
I learned, and it's such a good community because it's like that emotional pain you feel deep and then you take it out on the iron. It's like, I don't know, it's like it's some kind of weird thing, but it
Yeah.
is therapy. And it's not
It
about
is.
like, oh, look at me. It's about like what it does to my brain cell. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like the discipline too. My sister did a bodybuilding competition before,
Oof,
and just to see her go through that discipline, and especially like forget maybe like 3 weeks, 2 weeks out, she could eat nothing. Like it was all bland.
nothing.
It was just like I was like, "How are you doing this?" But immediately after that show, we took her out to eat, and she just ate
Yeah.
all the shit. But
Is she
whoa,
still in it? Is she still in the bodybuilding world?
she's not doing bodybuilding right now because she's trying to have a baby,
Oh,
but she is still like very fitness. She's always the person that I've always been like, girl, you go. Like you have the discipline to be there.
yeah. Let me tell you, there's a lot of the bodybuilders and stuff like, and that's really kind of one of the reasons why I didn't go down that road. Is like there's a lot
Yeah.
of addiction. It's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
addiction. I
Yeah.
know if I go on stage for a bikini show, it's gonna light something up in here, and I'll win
Yeah.
at no cost, and it's gonna be very bad for my mental health.
Yep.
Cuckoo.
She immediately wanted to do another one. I was like, are you insane?
Yes, because listen, you get all the claps, and look at how
Yeah.
disciplined I am, and look at my 8 pack, and then you gain 10 pounds within 2 days,
Yeah.
and
It
you're
was
like,
like, boom.
it's such a mind fuck, girl. Oh my
Yep.
God.
She was
Yeah.
already like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. And I was like,
Yeah.
do you not know how much you just said you didn't want to do this
Yeah.
ever again?
Right. Do you work out, Kayla?
I've gone through phases of working
Yeah.
out. So after my second, I got real into the gym. I loved it. It was like a really good outlet for me. I got really fit too. Like I was probably in the best shape of my life. And then I had two more babies, and then now it's just five.
Wait,
So
wait, what? Stop the presses. You have
I have one stepdaughter and four from my body, so five altogether. Yep.
my talk.
Yep.
That's selfless. Now that is the most selfless job in the you. You have five. How old are you? How old are you?
Yep. I'll be 28 in a month. Woo.
You're not rocking the beach houses at the Jersey Shore and go. You're like, I am in like 45-year-old crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
At
Yep.
27. Oh my God. Wow. That's beautiful. That's
I
so
know when
beautiful.
they were just talking about ages the other day because I'll go back to school events or like open house and I'm like, I am the youngest person here easily, and especially my stepdaughter is a year older than my son. So especially for middle school, I'm like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
definitely
you,
the youngest mom
yeah.
here. But we figured out that when my son is 18, I will be 36. So we were like, you know what? I'll still be rocking it then.
You're gonna be rock. You know what you look like? You know, like every time I like have a see someone, I got a picture and I'm like,
Yeah.
she's like the first grade teacher that every little boy is like, oh my God, Miss Kayla. You have that like that pretty beautiful face, you know, just that real all
I'm
American.
cracking up. I went for elementary education. So it's
You
just,
did?
I did.
Yeah, you
How
are
did you
the
know
first.
that?
Everyone remembers their first grade teacher. And it's like, I could just see you. I could just,
That is
that's Miss Kayla.
hilarious.
I
That's why I
know.
was like, see, it came. But
Yeah.
I had all these kids during it. So I would come home and be like, I cannot do this. So I never finished out teaching. I did do like my student teaching and stuff, but that quickly showed me that I was not going to be able to be the mom that I could be to my kids if I was spending it all day with other people's kids. So
Are you a full-time
quickly,
mom? That's what you do, right? There's no more time for
yep,
anything.
right?
Okay, good. Because like
Yeah,
this, and you do this mindset stuff, right?
yep.
You do the
Hmm.
coaching. That's awesome.
Yeah,
You're
we've got a
killing it.
whole freaking thing. But this was my passion project, and a lot of people will be like, "What do you do outside of this?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm a mom, and I do it a lot,
Yeah, and
so
I do it for
that's what I
five.
do."
That's what's up,
Yes,
fuckers. Five
yep,
fuckers.
yes, exactly. Talk about some time management. That's my skill that I've had to learn.
All the names, all the days. Oh boy, I can't even. So
And
good.
I that's the thing is like I'm the worst procrastinator. I don't like scheduling every little thing, but you have to with
You
all
have
these
to.
crazies. And we have
Yeah.
co-parenting schedules out the butt. Like I've got
Oh my
co-parenting on
God.
this side, co-parenting on that side. So holy shit, we have to
Yeah.
write it all out.
Yeah. You're unbelievable. You are the most amazing woman, and I am so grateful that I came on here to talk to you because, like, you know, that connection. I'm sure when you're interviewing people, you're like, I know in 2 seconds if this is going to be a bust or if it's going to
For
be a
sure.
win, right?
Yep, I'm like I can tell right away from the first like question and just getting into it is if this is going to vibe, if we're going to spend 10 minutes, if we're
Yeah,
going to spend an
yeah.
hour, if I'm going to be like pooling things, but no, yeah, I was ready for ours.
Well, I'm so happy. It's such a great thing.
Yes. So, what would be your no bullshit advice to somebody that might be stuck where either you once were or they're just stuck in life? We're back to that stuck buzzword, but
Yeah.
we have to address it after we've talked about all of your life shifts. So, what
Mm,
would be your advice to that woman?
First of all, listen to your gut because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. Tony
Hmm.
Robbins said that, and that one thing that was like that sentence, you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. I was like, wow. So listen to the whisper because I think we know what we already know, but we just don't want to look at it. Listen to the whisper, accept it, right? Acknowledge it, and then get help. Get help so one person can help you make the change to keep you accountable. Whether it's starting that project, bedazzle business, whether it's getting a divorce, talking to a lawyer. I mean, there's so many things that swirl in our head, but until we talk to someone and actually take action, even if it's a research, even if it's a phone call, even if it's whatever it is to make one small action towards that, because this is what I think. Like a lot of people are on that monkey bar and they're holding on to their old life here. And then they want to let go, but there's so much risk and unknown. So they stay here holding on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but I want to be over here. But you're not going to go over here unless you make that action step. So like I had struggled wanting to get a divorce. I probably knew I slept in a separate bedroom for 12 years. You have the
Yeah.
gut whisper. You're
Yeah.
sleeping 12 years. But I was like, my family. Oh, it's so known. Finances are safe here. Everything is good here. My kids need me. But then I had the one day where I said, I'm going to call a lawyer, you know? And it's just about getting out of the circle and taking action. And you cannot do it alone. You need a coach, you need a friend, you need somebody to keep you accountable because you're going to say, I'm going to do it on Monday. And by Tuesday, you're going to be like, "Mm, not so much."
Yeah. No, I don't feel like it today. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So have some buddies that what you say, you follow through and you stick to the plan and not your mood.
Exactly that. Where can
Yeah.
everybody connect with you outside of this podcast episode?
I'm at Yvette Salva Fitness on Instagram or YvetteSalvaFitness.com or anywhere. And if any woman on here is struggling with any kind of addiction, any kind of needs any kind of fitness advice or anything, just shoot me a DM. I'm here for all my ladies.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. I knew this conversation was meant to be. The moment that I read your submission, I was like, we have to talk. This is going to be so good. So, thank you so much for spending your time with me.
Kids, I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to be like, what are their names? Where do they go? Do they go to middle school? Who's in diapers? This is going to be my ADHD brain all night thinking
Yep.
about you.
Well, good. Good.
All
Somebody
right.
is. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you. Mwah.
Of
Heart.
course. We got to like finish it.
Yeah, finish it. Wait, do it.
Right?
Do it. Don't
That's wait.
We're fucking dumb. Bye.